Did anyone notice that Malfoy's character, his name's Dodge Landon? Yeah, I noticed that.
Yeah, and that movie, I didn't think the part when he's like, "Get your stinking paws off me, you damn dirty," that was kind of iffy, but I did love the part with because one of my the first Planet of the Apes has two of my favorite movie lines of all time, and one of them was said when the apes are just shaking at the fences, and he just goes, "It's a madhouse, a madhouse."
Great part.
Yeah.
But the scene when Malfoy, I'm just going to refer to it.
Yeah.
When he's like when he's like fighting Caesar, it's like get your stinking paws off me, you damn dirty ape. And Caesar's just like, that was like, okay.
Yeah, you know what? That's the thing.
Really cheesy.
Is that at
first Caesar's just like, no.
Yeah, at first it seemed.
When I saw that scene, I gave it like an extra point because that scene just blew me
Yeah.
away. I was just like so in shock. I was like, yeah, I actually got up and cheered. I'm not kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't actually.
The whole audience was like, oh, but I was like, yeah.
That's the thing. Like with what was it? With Terminator Salvation, like they did kind of a similar thing, but see, after Tom Felton said that line, it actually was interwoven like with the story. Like there was a line that came after it, like, and it wasn't. They didn't stop the movie because of it. Like with Terminator Salvation, it's like, what should I tell the people after you've come when they find out you're gone? And Christian Bale literally looks at the camera and goes, "I'll be back." Get it? Get it?
I'll be back.
You guys love that line. You remember that? I'll be back. Oh, that was great.
Back to Tom Felton's character in Planet of the Apes, though. I really liked him, and I'm praying that he ends up having a great career as an actor. But I'm afraid though that like whenever a movie company wants to have a douchebag character, they don't just call up Tom Felton.
Yeah.
Like, I hope it doesn't turn to that, but
you know what? If they were to
he's a good guy. I know that for a fact.
if they were to ever make, and I've said this so many times, if they were to ever make a biopic about Eminem, he would be perfect.
Yeah.
Because you watch the Eminem video for Stan, he looks like if the character of Stan in that video and Eminem had a kid, that's who it would look like. Like, yeah, no, he would. So I bet if they ever make that movie, book him in it because I think he would be awesome. But yeah, that's just a little tangent I was going. We're on number 3 now, right?
I think so.
Yeah, I'm on. I have a tie at my number 3, and mostly just because I forgot one of them, but I didn't. But honestly, I do probably think that I would probably put the other one at tied number 3 too. And those are the two Marvel movies, as far as the Avengers go, and that would be Captain America and Thor. Thor, I thought was absolutely so much fun. I think Chris Hemsworth owned that. Like, he's Thor. Like, walking down a street in a flannel t-shirt and jeans, and you're watching him, and you're like, that's Thor. And like, and that everybody in the cast was great. I would say I laughed harder. And okay, the percentage of jokes landed in Thor was a higher percentage than any other movie this year. Every time they made a joke in Thor, I at least chuckled at it. And I thought it was funny. The action was awesome and effective. I can't wait to see him in the Avengers. And we'll get to that later. But also tied at number 3, Captain America. Chris Evans, once again, fantastic. I really loved the whole cast. I thought that it could have had the potential to go way over the top and just be too cheesy, like Captain America, he's, flying and saving people, but it had that, like, when that was interwoven in, it made sense. I absolutely love that movie. Once again, I stayed after the credits to watch a trailer for the Avengers, and I don't care. I know what I'm going to say in my Avengers review. Even if the movie sucks, I'm going to say, you know what I saw? I saw Captain America and Thor talking to Iron Man, which is something I never thought I would see. So there's no way that movie's going to be bad. They have the Avengers movies, as far as they go, they have never had a bad movie yet. They've had some disappointing ones. Iron Man 2 wasn't great, but it was still really good. The Avengers is going to be fantastic. I love both those movies. Just completely blew me away. Totally awesome.
Ted's blood is boiling right now.
That's right. Yeah, Ted, you're up next.
I just realized that Captain America. Ooh, I have 3 new subscribers. Awesome. I just realized that the Avengers comes out on my 1-year anniversary on YouTube.
Does it really?
Congratulations.
I'm super duper excited. Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2.
Ooh, them's fighting words, right? Number 3?
Dude, okay, you put Captain America as your number 3.
Yeah, because Captain America was freaking awesome.
Dude, no. I was about to, like, jump through my computer screen in tears, like that scene in Law Abiding Citizen. Flat out, I was accurate. But, anyways, so, yeah, Harry Potter, I adored this movie. I love the Harry Potter franchise. The only one I don't like is Deathly Hallows Part 1. I was bored by it. But, this one was brilliant. Like, the action scenes, they were really well shot. They were really emotional. The deaths, that scene where Harry was just like walking through and he saw like dead bodies. I know it's different from the book. That scene was just really hard hitting for me. Mm-hmm. And it was like, oh my god, I loved that movie.
And that movie,
perfect ending for that series.
Yeah, and I'm gonna once again maybe a little foreshadowing here. That's gonna be on my list later. I'm not gonna say what number it is, but it starts with O and ends in un. So,
it's 2.
It's gotta be, like...
Owen! But,
So it's Oni?
yeah, but, number 3, I'm sure that's gonna be on everybody else's list. Dominic, what's your number 3?
My number 3? I know I told you what I think my top 5 was the other day on Facebook, but I have made some changes, but I will keep number 3 as Rise of the Planet of the Apes. It's a great movie. And, I don't know where to start, but I just love James Franco. The more movies I see in him, mm-hmm. The higher he climbs on my list of favorite actors. Mm-hmm. And I agree with you, Chris, that Andy Serkis was phenomenal in that, just like he was in Lord of the Rings of King Kong. And I didn't know, actually. I think you said in your review that every ape was an actual person in a suit.
Everyone, yeah.
Yeah, that's great. And I think when I first saw the trailer, I will say this: when I saw it said the effects company that did Avatar, I was like, well, they're just trying to sell their movie and trying to compare it to Avatar. But when I saw it,
what I thought.
To say that,
yeah,
the effects were amazing in that movie.
That's because I think that the studio was worried that people wouldn't come out to see it. And look, I can see, but the reason why it made $55 million this weekend. Fantastic.
Yay,
which I'm so happy it made money. But I bet it would have made probably about 35, 40 had it not have been the awesome movie that it was. And I think that's what propelled it. And I think that they said, like, well, James Franco's in it, but he's not really the main character and he's not that big of a draw. So if we put and they figured, look, if we put Avatar on anything, it's gonna make money. If you were to be like, the story of poop from the director of Avatar, it'd be like I'm in. And so I can see why they did it, but because they're not gonna put in the ads like, we've all seen it and it's freaking great, so come out and see it. So they had to mark it on something. And the movie cost $93 million to make, which is nice, but based on the fact that there were hundreds of apes and they were every one was a human, and the fact that it only cost 90. Yeah.
What?
Did somebody say something?
No.
Yeah.
Oh, but the fact that it cost $93 million and Avatar cost like 800,000 billion or something, shows it. This was like this year's District 9. It was actual science fiction in the summer that was character driven. I couldn't agree with you more. I love that movie. Alan?
Okay, my turn. A lot of people are gonna disagree with me on this, but I cannot mention this. I just gotta mention this with my summer list. Cowboys and Aliens. I'm ready to take the hate, but I love this.
I thought Cowboys and Aliens was a lot of fun, so I'm not gonna hate.
I'm not gonna hate either.
Yeah,
It wasn't the best movie this summer, but I thought it was the most fun I've had this summer. I just had. It's like if I had been given like this kind of idea, it's how for the most part. Some parts no, but for a lot of it, it's how I would have written it.
You see, the ranting, I almost kind of regret the ranting I did, because I actually did like that movie. I think that that the problem that I have with it is a deep hated problem, but I can admit, I thought Daniel Craig was awesome. I loved the entire cast, and there were some great lines. But one thing that Peter Rawlis, who does movie news on YouTube, brought something up that made me laugh, is that Daniel Craig's signature move of that movie is punching people in the dick. He does an uppercut and then punches everybody, and it's like, you know what? At first it's like, I'm like, oh man, that's cheap, but then you think about it, it's like, no, that's James Bond. He would do that. That's the smart way to go. So you know what? I can't blame you for doing that. I walked into it. I had my huge bucket of popcorn. I was with my dad. He wanted to see it. And I was like, you know what? I am ready to find something awesome about this movie. And there were awesome things in it, trust me. And it was well directed, but I want to see an actual Western with Daniel Craig in it, and with that cast, because I think that they all did a great job. I felt, but surprisingly, I actually felt that the cowboys were a lot more interesting than the aliens, and I thought for sure it would be the other way around. But great. I think it's a fun movie, and I can't blame anybody for putting it on. I wish I could have loved it, honestly, but yeah, I did like it a lot.
For me,
no, go ahead. Yeah.
I took it as like Raiders of the Lost Ark. Teddy thinks it's overrated.
Yeah, I do. I think
little
strip
boat,
overrated.
but like
I do too.
Raiders of the Lost Ark. I'm not bashing Raiders of the Lost Ark at all. That is my favorite movie of all time. But it wasn't like some big dramatic character study. That was just a fun movie. For me, that's how he took Cowboys. It was just a fun summer movie. That's exactly what I knew it was gonna be. What I took it as, and as that kind of movie, I just had so much fun from beginning to end.
Yeah.
It's like there's no movie in existence where you're ever gonna see cowboys and Indians getting together to fight.
Cowboys and aliens.
You'll never see that image. You'll never get that image again. And seeing that image just gave me like geek outs. I was like having nerdgasms the whole time. Was just so awesome.
Yeah, and you know, one thing I noticed is that people are saying, "Oh, this movie bombed. That means Harrison Ford isn't a big movie star anymore." And it's like, okay, look, there are nobody in Hollywood. There is not one actor who will have a movie make money because of him. Never. There will never be one. There will be one who will that might make more money, but I think that's ridiculous to be like, yeah, it would have made money because it didn't make money because Harrison Ford's not as big of a draw as he used to be. Look at Harrison Ford's biggest movies. Star Wars was popular because it's freaking Star Wars. It's like the greatest movie ever made. Raiders of the Lost Ark was popular because it was an adventure movie. It was directed by Steven Spielberg and George Lucas in the 80s, like their heyday. And so, of course, people are going to see that. So, I just don't... And it came out at a time when there were a bunch of movies out. So, yeah, I think that... I did really want to love that movie, like I said. But, no, I'm glad you liked it, honestly.
I'll be right back.
Alright.
About Cowboys and Aliens, I wanted to love that movie, and I did love that movie. Like, I was excited for that movie ever since I saw the first trailer. Like,
I was so psyched. And like, Super 8 Cowboys and Aliens were like my 2 of the year, and I was like so psyched for both of them. And
you didn't know what was gonna happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess we're on to me now. I guess. Number 2. My number 2 is Rise of the Planet of the Apes.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Look, the original Planet of the Apes movie is a great movie. It's amazing. One of my favorite movies of all time. The second, third, fourth Planet of the Apes movies are all really good too. Fifth one's it's okay, but I could do without. But the other ones are really good. The remake doesn't count, or what remake? I don't know. They never remade Planet of the Apes. That movie doesn't exist. That terrible movie with Marky Mark. But this movie is such a perfect science fiction movie. It's got...
Just excuse me. Can you, like, skip me and I'll just go after Alan or whoever goes last?
Alright, sure, yeah. But it's a perfect science fiction movie. Andy Serkis, yes. Look, the guy is an amazing actor. And talk about playing to your strengths. This guy, I bet so many times, has been told, you're not good looking enough to be a leading man. And so he said, well, you know what? I'm going to work to my strengths, and I know that I'm a great actor, so I'm going to use that to be these really memorable characters.